Hey, ofmyseat here, back again with another brand new video, and today I will be no-damaging all the boss fights in Roblox 3 on Legend. And starting off we have Goro Majima from the famous Yakuza and Roblox series. If you actually watched some of my previous Roblox videos, you'll know that there's actually some very interesting lore revolving around Majima's grandfather. Do check out Roblox 0 to get more info on that. But the strategy for Majima here is, well, Roblox 3 could be a very punishing game on New Game. This boss fight wouldn't be too punishing on New Game, however the strategy I'm doing on New Game Plus here, you just can't do on New Game. Pretty much what I do is I counter his Russian attack. And spoiler alert, you will be fighting Goro Majima here again. And honestly I think his second fight's a little easier to fight because I just find it easier to parry his attacks. And I haven't realized it at this point, but Majima kinda has this thing where if you look away from him, he'll immediately attack you. Actually, I'm not even 100% sure if that's true in this fight, but it is true in the second fight. Also, I really like this music here because Roblox 3 does such a great job of choosing music because if you may not notice this, but if you look really closely at Majima, you'll see that his eye patch has a snake on it. And his eye patch is covering his eye, and the song called Snake Eyes is alluding to the fact that Majima has a snake eye. And that's just next level thinking. They just don't make them like this anymore. And yes, I will be using weapons. I know that some people don't like using weapons in this game. However, Roblox 3 is a little special from the other games in that on harder difficulties, boss fights have significantly more health. So popping out a weapon here and there honestly is not that bad. And honestly, I just wish weapons had more depth to them in these games, because a lot of the time they just have a very basic combo, and I do try to like involve these basic combos with these like beginning boss fights, especially with Rikiya here. And Rikiya is very annoying. This guy is just so tedious on a New Game, but on New Game Plus I can just counter that little steppy attack he does. It's just that you can't really dodge behind him for the steppy attack. And also, Roblox has such a hard history with ports. The PS3 original of Yakuza 3 and then the vice versa Roblox 3, you know, I mean, enemies would block and it would be tough, but it wouldn't be that bad per se, but then it got ported to PS4, and then some issues started to arise. I mean, first, like with the Korean and Japanese releases of the game, I'm not sure if this game released in China. I mean, I think China, Korea, and like pretty much and Japan got the remaster before we did back in the West, and there were issues with it. Like Kiryu would just move way too much. I mean, he would step and it would look like he was floating around, and it just kind of screwed up your whole, like, you know, what's the word, kinesthetics? It would ruin the kinesthetics of the game a lot, and it's like, come on, man. And the steppy thing, like, you know, stepping too fast, that got fixed. However, the dodge did not get fixed in the Western release of Roblox 3, because now the dodge moves way too far in the PS4 edition. It's just like, what? Oh yeah, but my strategy for this part is I would pretty much Komaki parry that little steppy attack Rikiya does, and then I would do a combo behind him, and sometimes I try to do a fancy combo where I kind of dodge into something, and you know, there was the one fancy combo where I dodged into a tree, and then I immediately did another combo, you know, like square, 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 triangle, triangle, boom, boom, bam, pow. You could do much more complicated combos, especially with the equipment I was using in that fight. I used this item called the Calming Towel against Rikiya, which doesn't allow heat to build up. Now, why would you not want to use heat in Roblox 3? Well, there's this ability in Roblox 3 where if you do not have heat, you can dodge cancel out of any attack. However, once you acquire heat, that ability goes away, and it's just, I think that's a really dumb decision, because it's like, you know, you want to get heat in these games, so why have an ability that discourages getting heat? Because dodge canceling is one of the most useful things you can do in this game. What? And but yeah, back to complaining about ports, like, so now there's this whole big issue. And now Roblox 3, I'm playing the PC edition, and well, okay, to be fair, I think Roblox 3 is actually exclusive to PC, but here comes the problem. Your dodge has kind of been screwed over in the opposite fashion. Now it's too short. And to be fair, this isn't going to affect most of my strategy except for one fight. One fight in particular is actually going to be a lot more troublesome to deal with because my dodge is all screwed up. And it's just like, you know, new players are going to play these ports thinking that like the PS3 edition was like this when it really wasn't. And it's just like, that's a shame, you know? So my strategy for Tamashiro here is I'm going to take advantage of the fact that he likes to block everything, and I'm just going to bait him out. Like, you know, I'll hit him with a combo, you know, to kind of just a normal light combo, just do that. However, right now he's in his second phase. There's a whole different strategy to dealing with his second phase. But for his first phase, I would combo him, he would block all my hits, and then he would immediately react afterwards. And you can get a good Komaki parry in there, however, you can also screw up a good Komaki parry. So instead, I dodge behind him, which is the more reliable solution, then I could just do a full combo. Now you can also just kind of bait out his knife throwing attack, because you can dodge behind that too, but I like to bait it out by hitting his block stance because, well, I'm playing on Legend, and what Legend does is I have to repeat the entire level before this boss fight, so I'm going to adopt some, strategies to I'm trying to adopt more consistent strategies. And, well, the strategy for the second phase, oh my goodness. Oh, look at this music sync, though. To be fair, I can't exactly, I can't exactly stop talking, because if I stop talking, then this video will get copyright claimed. That's just kind of the great thing about commentary, is that even though this video, my no commentary video got blocked in New Zealand, I can just release a commentary video, which won't get blocked anywhere, because my commentary is louder than the music, which this game has, which this game's music is just very dangerous for YouTubers. Oh no. So yeah, my strategy for Tamashiro is I'm pretty much going to adopt Ultra Instinct and just kind of parry every single attack he does against me. It takes a little while to learn it, but you get used to it. Oh, and there, I thought, sometimes when a boss fight's health gets low enough, you activate the Feel the Heat thing, and sometimes I'll try to activate it by doing a quick step attack, but I guess Tamashiro's health was just not that low at that point, but it got lower at this point, so now I can activate it. And this is the first time I'll be using Hell's Floor. Now, I'll try to, avoid... I'm not going to avoid using it. If a boss fight's kind of long and kind of, has, a whole level attached to it, I'll try to use this move. But I also want to, vary it up, because I feel like in my previous attempts with Yakuza 3 and with Roblox 3, I would kind of use Hell's Floor as a bit of a crutch. But here, I'll use it for the fights which, really deserve it and all that. So here's a fun fact about Roblox 3. So I turned off the music because, I think it's epic and it allows me to make more epic moments like this video. But there's this thing that happens, the revelations in this game. So you need to look at certain revelations in order to... Well, before I talk about the revelations, weird thing about the heat actions in Roblox 3 is you kind of have to stand a little far away from the enemy. The icon won't really appear if you're too close to them, so you have to kind of keep your distance. And also, certain heat actions will appear if an enemy is attacking, and certain heat actions will appear if an enemy is idle, and certain enemies are a lot more idle than they are aggressive, and some enemies are way more aggressive than they are idle, so you just kind of have to work with it. But yeah, revelations of this game. If you turn off the music, the audio of the revelations is completely silent except for the QTE sounds. Because every single audio, all the audio in the revelations is just music. They just compose one solid music track for all the audio in those funny revelations. So the strategy here is a purple man here, or blue man, I don't know, his outfit's kind of a weird mix between purple and blue. Yellow shirt, you just kind of get a little far away from him and then do square, triangle, triangle to knock him to the ground, like so. And while he's knocked down to the ground, kind of take advantage of just kind of single out an enemy in the crowd and then just kind of take him out. It's hard because some of these enemies can be aggressive, and honestly, the worst person here is Purple Man here. He can be so aggressive out of nowhere. He rushes to your position if you're across the map. It's just, you have to be really careful with this guy. They kind of put him on the ground temporarily and then get a quick combo in there, because you might see him walking slowly, and here I don't know why that's going on. I guess the verticality allowed me to kick under him, which allowed me to just let him float infinitely. He's doing that slow, dumb gorilla walk, but when you don't see him, it's kind of like a Slender Man. He'll just run toward that. He'll start taking a jogging pace when you don't see him. So that's going to be very hard. But here I'm going to grab this chair and just going to start punching him very, very, very hard. But yeah. Also, we are in Chapter 5, and I just want to say, the chases in Chapter 5 and 6 are horrendous. It's just, they're just... on a new game, on hard, I don't know if the chases get harder on Legend or something. They get harder just due to the fact that if you fail a chase, you have to kind of restart the entire thing before it, and usually these chases happen after you beat a boss fight, or after you beat a level, or at the beginning of a chapter, so it's these chases are never put in a fair or fun place to do them. There's no easy way to restart a race. You have to repeat an entire thing, and oh wait, this isn't Chapter 5, this is Chapter 4 actually, but Chapter 5 is coming soon, so I might as well just complain about it now. So yeah, another strategy once you get past, once you like eliminate the entire crowd in this area, the other strategy for Purple Man over here is pretty much kind of, you know, knock him down to the ground, pick him up, and then do a full combo behind his back. Now this is a little inconsistent because sometimes he'll immediately turn to face you and block everything you do, but like you saw in this video, sometimes he won't do that, and I got really lucky and he didn't do that. And now here's a fun heat action, so just kind of, there's a heat action from Kenzin where, you know, if an enemy has a sword and you have your sword, you can kind of, you know, block it, knock him to the ground. Oh wait, no. That's not how the heat action in Kenzin works. You have to be unarmed in Kenzin, and then you can disarm their sword and you stab them in the gut. However, in this game, you don't kill people, so in Roblox 3, they kind of took the part of the animation where you don't stab them in the gut because they don't want you stabbing people in the gut. You know, because I mean, you could slash them up with like your own sword, but you cannot stab them in the gut because that is just way too murder. But yeah, once Hasebe here like kind of starts copying a Kenzin moveset, the strategy is let him do an attack and then do a full combo on him, then dodge and wait for him to do another attack and then do a full combo on him. And then once he kind of like, you know, sheaths, I don't know how to say the word, sheaths his sword inside him or like inside his hand or whatever, you wait for him, you kind of start approaching him slowly, then you immediately dodge when he does it, and then you do a full combo. You kind of run up to him and do a full combo. However, if you have enough heat, you can just do that heat action I did before. And now, once you do the feel the heat moment, you know, where you headbutt him, then you want to combo, dodge, and then after you dodge and go back for another combo, you don't dodge until he gets to this point. You just keep aggressively comboing him, and most of the time it will work. I don't know why. It's like since he's like really close to breaking his sword, I guess it becomes like a lot easier to just like endlessly combo on him. You can kind of endlessly combo on him before, but he stabs you a lot quicker and it's just like ah. And yeah, you could also Kamaki parry him with like good timing, but he's kind of inconsistent with that, so I avoided it for most of the fight, but for this part it worked pretty well. And now, man, this is one of the most fun fights in Roblox 3 just because he has so much momentum to him. And here, instead of in my previous Yakuza 3 video, I never took these guys out. However, on Legend, they're a little more aggressive, so instead I'm going to try to take them on a pretty stylish way. Boom, bam, pow, the smoking ability. And oh yeah, I did something really cool with Majima, and I'm going to do it again in some future fights, but the smoking heat action is kind of hard to do, but one way to kind of make sure you do it consistently with, well, most enemies, I mean most boss fights. It doesn't work with every single boss fight because some boss fights just have behaviors which just disagree with you doing the thing, which I did with Majima. But pretty much what I did with Majima was I pretty much did I parried him, I went behind him, and I went square, 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 triangle, triangle, and then I just kind of let him bounce for a bit, because in that short period where he's bouncing, it gives me enough time to light up a cigarette without any danger of getting hit by the enemy, because when you light up that cigarette, you're stuck. You can't really move after that, so it could be really dangerous to do, because some enemies might just straight up attack you while you're lighting that cigarette. But if you do square, 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 triangle, triangle, after you parry them and they get knocked on the ground, they start bouncing on the ground, then boom, bam, pow, they light up the cigarette, and also you should have heat while doing this. Because if you don't, I'm actually going to do it in this fight. I don't know when I'm going to do it in this fight. The strategy here is just kind of bait out his running attack, then dodge behind him, and then boom, that works pretty well. You can also tiger drop him, and but the thing with the tiger drop in Roblox 3 is that you need to do it very specifically, or you'll take damage. And to be fair, this is actually one of the easiest attacks to tiger drop without taking damage. But to be fair, I did not know that at this time, so I'm just not going to deal with it. Oh, here's one of the coolest combos you can do, and you can go even crazier with it if you have the calming towel. But I wanted to use heat actions for this fight, so I decided not to. And to be fair, this combo is also a little inconsistent. So yeah, see what I did there? Square, 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 triangle, triangle, while he's bouncing, light up a cigarette, then when he immediately gets up and tries to attack you, boom, do the cigarette heat action. Very nice, very cool. Yeah. So pretty much the combo is instead of just doing a normal combo, you do you dodge behind him, square, 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 and then once you do your full square combo, like the 4 squares, you quick step attack to the left or right, whichever one will still leave you behind him, and then you immediately do your combo again. But you have to be very quick on this, and you also have to have some good distancing. You can't be too far away from it, because if your first punch doesn't immediately land after you do that quick step attack, it's not gonna work like that. If you're too slow, it's not gonna work. So, oh yeah, you don't want that to hit you. That's a grab. like that, but he turned around too quickly. Like, you don't want that. Am I gonna do it again? No, I guess not. I guess I gave up on doing it for the rest of this fight. But yeah, what was I saying? I forgot. Yeah, no. Like, so yeah, square, square, square. Quick step attack left or right, whichever one like your positioning is more comfortable for, and then immediately after square, 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 triangle. And then quick step attack forward and then hit him into a wall, which he'll bound off of, and then square, 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 triangle, triangle. I did that once in the Andre fight, and I think it's a really cool combo. And to be fair, you can get even more crazy with the combos, but I'm just, I guess I'm a little impatient for it. I'm just not feeling it. But yeah, that's a cool combo you can do if you don't have that much heat. And the thing is, once you get heat, you can't like, like quick step out of your combos anymore. So it's like with a calming towel, you can just kind of do that infinitely in some way. But if you don't have the calming towel, once you get heat, like your combo's kind of over. But that's a pretty like complicated combo you can do if you don't have the calming towel. Also, when you're drunk, your heat gets boosted a lot more. And for Kanda, that's all right, because I don't know, Kanda's a weird one. Like when you start off the fight, he's gonna have like super armor, but one attack you can, and also like his attacks are just way too unpredictable to kind of like, Kamaki parry. So instead of doing that, what we're going to do is when you start out, try to like bait out the one attack where he like just slams his butt on you, but he misses, of course, because if he doesn't misses, you take damage. Because after that move, he'll be open to square, 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 triangle, then grab combo. Because if you just do square, 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 triangle, triangle, he has super armor and he can just hit you. And then after this point, you can do a heat action on him. And also, I'm using the payback ring for this fight, so I deal a ton of damage for Legend. And to be fair, a ton of damage in this game is like a normal damage in every single other Yakuza game. No, it's like half the normal damage in every other Yakuza game. So it's just like, 0 specifically, and also Kiwami 2 and 6 when you're fully upgraded, because oh my goodness, those can get ridiculous. But yeah, so as I was saying, so then after you do that, I'm sure you will have dealt enough damage to Kanda. Then now he'll switch to like trying to grab furniture and hitting you with it. Now you really want him to do this because if he grabs furniture, then he's now invulnerable to your Komaki parry. So like the secret to kind of pairing his furniture attacks is just to have Ultra Instinct. But no, pretty much like when he slightly moves when he's like about to attack you, just press the button and it'll work. Just press the Komaki parry and it will work, and it'll be very, very, very nice. So yes, there was something I wanted to mention here. So for this playthrough, I didn't exactly 100% the game myself. I looked online for an 100% save file, and I just copied that into my game, because I've already beaten this game like 3 or 4 times, like on PS3, PS4, combination of both machines. So like I'm not gonna go through that entire process again just just to no damage the boss fights on PC. I mean, I'm very familiar with this game and its side content, so like I'm not gonna go through it again. Like I don't exactly have the time. I mean, this video took a while to come out, and this is because these boss fights are already so hard on Legend. Like, I mean, some of these boss fights just took me days, like individually. Oh, it was so annoying. I was like, ah! But the issue with this 100% save file is that it wasn't technically 100%. Now, the 100% had a lot of stuff, which was like 100%. They had nearly all the weapons, all equipment. Like, they have the big lightsaber sword, which I have, and it has infinite durability. That's very nice. It has the golden gun. Now, what the golden gun is very good for is for boss fights like this, which have very long levels before them with a lot of enemies. So instead of like dealing with the game's combat, which can be fun, but it's also like it's gonna take a while, the gun just kind of speeds that up and makes it all a cakewalk. And I need it to be a cakewalk because my struggle is with the boss fight, not the level. And even with the golden gun, the level takes a while, so like every time I have to go through the level to kind of repeat this boss fight. And sometimes with some of the harder fights, it feels like you're making 0 progress because you have to repeat such a long level to get to them, and it's just like afterwards you're so tired from the level, even with the golden gun, that once you get to the boss fight, your brain's fried, and when your brain's fried, you can't exactly react smartly to the boss fight. So it just feels for the first 5 or 10 attempts, you feel like you are doing nothing. You feel like you are worthless. You feel like you should stop playing Roblox 3. And I think in some situations that probably is a smart decision. But yeah, one of the things the save file didn't have was the one revelation heat action, which breaks Kanda's stone phase. So instead I had to do something a little more creative. I did a drunk heat action where I ran towards him and did a whole snake maneuver on him, and then I did a rolling heat action into him. from there, I would do like a quick step attack, and sometimes the first one would break his rock, but it didn't happen in my fight, so instead it took like 2 or 3. So, you have to be very safe with it, and sometimes, I have to dodge his attacks, and honestly, it's kind of cool how I'm actually like dodging his big stone attacks. I didn't do that previously in my fight, and that was an accidental drop kick. I was about to say tiger drop. They both have drop in the name, so it's kind of hard to do that. So anyways, here's the strategy for Majima. So Majima here, so pretty much you have to turn away from him and then quickly look back at him to parry him. And now for this thing where he's all tired, I mean, sometimes you could do like, 2 combos of that, but I want to play it safe. So yeah, here he did like 3 hitters, so I could kind of like walk away then run back to him to parry it. But for some of his attacks, I kind of parry the very first hit he does. And when he's in heat mode, he tends to rely on that one running attack he does, and that one running attack is the easiest thing to parry from Majima. But oh my goodness, when he does not do that, yeah, I mean, when he's in like heat mode, he tends to do that. But I'm not really explaining myself very well with strategies when it comes to this fight. So this fight, like you pretty much have to learn how to do one thing and one thing particularly. So pretty much you have to like look away from him and then like turn fast enough around to face him like head on and then parry his attacks. Like, it's very weird movement, and honestly it's very easy to mess up, and I definitely messed it up quite a few times. And to be fair, sometimes you don't even have to be like fully facing back from him. You can kind of face to the side, and also that's something you have to watch out for. Sometimes when you do like a full combo on him instead of doing like, square, 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 triangle, triangle, that's just gonna knock him to the ground. But if you do square, 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 triangle, triangle, sometimes he'll just straight up get up and try to retaliate attack you. And there's certain other boss fights where if you do like a full combo, they'll just get up. So you have to be careful about that. They won't always do it, but sometimes they will do it. And most of the time, if you like hit them against the wall, they're just gonna get hit by the wall, so it's not gonna matter. Anyways, here I'm gonna grab him, boom, bam, do a wall heat action, very nice. But I don't know, there's not much more to say with this fight. You just kind of you look away from him, and then you look away from him, then you immediately turn back to face him when he does an attack, and then you parry that attack. You just have to get really good reactions. You have to get kind of a bit of muscle memory in there, and then you do a full combo behind his back. You can get kind of fancy with the combos, you can get kind of not fancy with the combos, like who knows. You have to really practice that, and then that's the success to the Majima fight here. And it could be troublesome. And then once you get to his heat phase, well, that's the thing with like the heat phases with most boss fights, is that you can't do full combos once they're in heat mode. And honestly, one of my favorite things about Roblox 3 is just that you can do full combos on boss fights, but that doesn't really apply to like Yakuza 3 sometimes, like when boss fights are in heat mode. But at least when they're in heat mode, it's a temporary state. It's not like the full second phase of the fight. And I kind of like that about Roblox 3. I don't know, future games, like when boss fights are changing phases, they're a lot more permanent. Like compare like the final boss fight of Roblox 0, where, he has one phase, then he goes to another phase, and then he ends the fight in his last phase. But I don't know, with some of the fights in this game, they just change phases like naturally. They cycle through them. I really like that. I kind of wish these series would kind of bring back that idea, because I think it's a really cool idea when it just switch naturally between everything. And here is a snake flower Bozo. The reason I call him Bozo is because I hate this level. Like even with the golden gun, it's insane because you have a boss fight. You have to fight like 3 boss fights in this level, and they're all baby boss fights, but I decided to include this guy to show off how much of a bozo he is. But pretty much the strategy here just kind of amounts to hit him with this little combo I'm doing, and most of the time he will retaliate and do that, leading for a nice quick easy Komaki parry, and that just makes things really, really simple. And just it's that simple. There's not much more to say with this guy. But yeah, I was talking about something, I forgot. Oh yeah, eating dog food actually heals Kiryu. So I don't know, sometimes I think in some of the future games, if you eat a certain item, in this game if you eat a worm it damages you, but if you eat dog food it actually heals Kiryu. So Kiryu canonically in this point in time likes dog food. I just thought I should mention that. But yeah, like the reason the chases suck so much is just that the save file I got had 0 upgrades to my chase meter. It's like, what? It was supposed to be an 100% save file, and they didn't do certain revelations, which made the Kanda fight a bit harder. And they didn't get any upgrades to Kiryu's sprint meter. Are you kidding me? Like once I found out that I didn't have any upgrades to Kiryu's sprint meter, I was at chapter 5, and I was like, I don't want to repeat the entire game just for a chase. I'm sure the chase in chapter 8 won't be that bad. And it was horrendous. It was like straight up impossible. Like, I mean, so pretty much I was at chapter 8 and I was like trying to redo that chase so many times, and it was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna repeat the entire game over again, because like, here's the issue with the chase in chapter 8. That's one of the longest levels in the game. It's one of the most tedious levels in the game. I have to do a chase in it, which I'm struggling with, and the boss fight after this entire level, which is this one right here, Lau Ka Long, is one of the most frustrating in the game. So, you know, I have to limit my frustration to just this boss fight, but if I can't do that chase, I have 2 frustrations, which I'm going to have to deal with repeatedly, because if I get clipped in this fight, I'm gonna have to repeat that entire chase again, which I'm already struggling with. It's like, like, no, we're not doing that. So I had to straight up like open up Premium Adventure, actually get the chase upgrades, which like the person who like I got the save files from didn't do, and then like repeat the entire game all up to that point. I mean, this time I wouldn't be no damaging the boss fights, but you know, at least now I have a full chase sprint meter, which made the chases a lot more bearable. But this one in chapter 8 is still a little annoying just because of the geometry, because sometimes I'll run a wrong corner one time and then boom, the chase is like dead, and then I have to repeat the entire level over again. It's like, like, why make it 100% safe? I don't even remember what save file I got, and honestly I should probably talk about the strategy with this fight. So it starts off with the spear phase, and the spear phase is easy with Dante Level 12 strategy, where I pretty much just do a combo, and then it'll activate the whole little blue phase he has, and you know, ching, hiya! And then you dodge behind him, then you can do like mostly a full combo, full grab combo, and then you kind of go from there. And then for the second phase, I'm actually going to switch it up from my previous attempts, because on PC, your dodge can't really dodge that running attack he does consistently, so instead I'm going to parry it. At least for the second phase. So I pretty much, there's like 2 combos I can parry. So, and they're both involve fists, because for some reason kick attacks cannot be Kamaki parried, which makes certain enemies very annoying. Well, this is one of them. But pretty much if he does a kick combo, avoid him. But if he does a punching combo, parry the second hit. You know what I mean? It's honestly hard because his movements are weird as hell, so you have to get used to it. But once you get a handle on it, it's not that bad, but you know, since we're on Legend, repeating the entire level, it can kind of screw you up, and it definitely screwed me up a couple times. It took me like 2 or 3 days, because it was just so annoying. I was like, and also like during this time, I got sick again. Like, okay, if you see my Splinter Cell Blacklist video, you'll know that I got a new mic. I use it in my Splinter Cell Blacklist video, so check out that video if you want to hear my new mic, and hell, I'm using it right now, so yo, let's go. I might have to get a new like muffler for this mic, because this mic is a lot bigger than my previous mic, and the muffler I had was kind of like the size of you know, my old previous small mic. They're both from the Samsung company, but this one's a much bigger mic. This was a gift from Santa, actually, so very nice, very nice. But another thing is, I was sick in my Splinter Cell Blacklist video, and it was like, but then I recovered, and then I became sick again for New Year's. Why? However, at this current time, I have healed from it, but while I was like playing and suffering through this game, I was sick. It was so annoying. So yeah, I've completely ignored the 3rd phase of this fight, but the 3rd phase, I copied a strategy from Gunk Shot. Shout out to Gunk Shot, he making the bangers. He's currently doing a series where he no damages the boss fights in Yakuza 3, except he's Andre fighting other boss fights. So it's really cool. He does a lot of cool combos in it. Go watch his stuff. But yeah, the strategy I took from him for like this 3rd phase is that so I'm mostly relying on heat actions and the Lotus charge fist. I forgot what the move is called, but pretty much you hold down triangle and then you do that. So the reason this move is so useful is that it just straight up knocks him out, but it's also very risky because, you know, sometimes you'll dodge it, and sometimes you'll see, like in this video, that he's in the middle of an attack when I actually attack him. So I was like a split second away from it. Look at that, he was about to do an attack, and if I did it like a second like later, I would have been damaged. So it was like, what? It's a very risky thing to do, but it knocks him on his ass. It fills you up with heat, and when you're filled up with heat, you can do heat actions, which can kind of negate things. And then like also in his 3rd phase, he's very close to his feel the heat thing, so you can just kind of just bait that out and then just do the feel the heat stuff, and it's like very nice. Yes. So I want to complain about the save file stuff a little bit more. They also had no worms. They had like every single item in the game, like infinity. You know, they had like an infinity wine bottles, which allowed me to get drunk a lot of the time. They had infinity healing items, infinity, you know, like they had the payback ring, you know, they have like the war god talisman, but no worms. Like, I mean, like, I want some worms, you know, I mean, if you want to go fishing, but I'm not going to go fishing. I want the worms so I would have an easy way to, like, lower my health if I want red health for a boss fight, which is very useful if I want to use the payback ring. Why do you have no worms in your inventory? Getting worms is very tedious. That's your job, not mine. What is that? If you're going to put your save file on the internet for Roblox 3 or Yakuza 3, you need to put a lot of worms in your inventory. Put the worms! Because I had to get those myself, and there comes a point where your orphanage gets destroyed, and that's where you get the worms. Like, pretty much the way I would get worms is I would pick up a worm in the backyard, and then I would head back to like the orphanage save point. I would go to the save room, and then once I exit the save room, it would reset the worm so I could get another worm, and I just kept getting worms over and over and over. However, there comes a certain point where the orphanage is destroyed, and then I had to get worms, but I couldn't get, like, when the orphanage is destroyed, there are no more save rooms, because the save room's gone when like the orphanage is destroyed. So instead, you have to pick up a worm, exit the area, and then come back, get a worm, and just kind of repeat that over and over again. Another way to do it is to like get a worm, open up the fishing minigame, but that actually takes longer than leaving the area and entering the area again. So it's just like, what? Come on, man. So another thing I'm going to complain about is Joji himself. So I've been ignoring strategy for like this entire conversation, but one annoying ass thing about Joji is he's like parry based, and another strategy I took from Gungshot, or like something which Gungshot took from another no damager. I'm going to assume it's Amuro, but I don't know. I forgot which no damager invented this strategy, but one annoying thing with Joji is that if he's not in heat mode, he's gonna barely attack. Like, he's just gonna be very passive. But one way to make him not passive is to run up to him, grab him, do a couple like punching like grab attacks, and he'll like, you know, he'll like let go of your grab, he'll dodge once, and he'll immediately do an attack, you know, like this. Look at that. Boom, dodge, he'll do an attack, and then you can parry that attack. So it makes him a little more, it makes him more predictable, because like when he's in heat mode, he'll attack all the time. So, you know, he's like, you just kind of wait for him to do an attack and you parry it. But when it comes to parrying Joji Kazama, oh no, Joji Kazama, Joji Fuma, you know, whatever, Joji, the thing you need to keep in mind is that he has one combo, he has two things you can't parry, and those two things annoy me to no end. He has that stupid fake out combo, which looks exactly like another one of his combos, which is easy to parry, where it's just like, you know, 1-2 fake out kick. What is that? I can't stand it. It's so annoying. Like, I've screwed up so many attempts just because of that. And honestly, like, this isn't even the attempt I wanted to use for this video. I wanted to do a better attempt where it was like a little quicker, a little bit like less filled with mistakes, but I ended up screwing it up so many times. I spent like 7 or 8 hours trying to redo this fight, but it was so frustrating. I was kind of, you know what, I'm gonna use that one kind of messy attempt. You know, I mean, this is the attempt I consider kind of messy. You know, tell me in the comments what you think about this attempt, but I think it's a little messy. It could be improved, but when I tried to improve it, I just could not no damage him. Could not no damage him, and I was just so annoyed. I was so frustrated. I was like, like, it was draining my mental health. And the thing is, like, at least this boss fight doesn't have a long like level behind it. You can just like, once you die in this boss fight, you can immediately restart it. That's like, you know, that saves a lot of mental health, but it still destroyed a lot of mental health. So it was like, this Roblox 3, it takes a toll on you. I'm telling you, it takes a toll on you. Unrelated, but the revelation to learn Hell's Floor, isn't that funny? It's just a guy, he slips on a banana and then he just kind of gets a lot of pain handed to him, and it's like, whatever. But yeah, also the other move that's kind of annoying to deal with is that, you know, that one fake out combo wouldn't be too bad if you could just react to like whatever Joji does instantaneously, kind of like what I do with Tamashiro. But he has another move to deal with that. So instead of like, you know, I mean, one thing which I would do at the beginning of like my attempts to no damage Joji here is I would grab him, you know, do the punch, he would dodge once, and then he would immediately attack, and I would dodge the first hit he does. But he has that stupid kick that just comes out immediately and you can't parry. That one kick ruins that strategy. So it's like, so you have to like be wary enough to like, you know, be able to parry like his one combo, which isn't like a fake out, but also, you know, not parry the fake out, because if you parry the fake out, then you're gonna get faked out. But they look exactly the same, so sometimes you play it really safe and just only parry the attacks which are like absolutely not the fake out. But that's too safe, and that drags out the video. So it's like, Also, this QTE here, you actually have to mash it kind of hard, because if you mash it a little passively, the bull just kills you. So I don't know, I was a little surprised by that. I was like, the QTEs in future Yakuza games are not that demanding, but this one's pretty demanding, I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, watch out for that one. You do have to mash the triangle button pretty hard for it. Oh, yeah, also unrelated, the cig throw heat action, the cigarette throw. If you want to do it, make sure you're not drunk, because sometimes if you try to do the cigarette throw, you'll sometimes instead do the drunk heat action. So, you just be sure to do it when you're not drunk. I mean, it's not impossible to do the... Like, it's not impossible to do the cigarette throw while you're drunk, but it just makes it a little bit hard. To be fair, like, the drunk heat action only happens if an enemy is idle, while the cigarette throw only happens when the enemy is, like, attacking you. So they have different priorities, but sometimes it's easy to mess up those priorities. So now for Tamashiro here, I'm playing him very cheesy. I have the payback ring, and pretty much I want to do, like, different stuff every time. Like, I want to do different heat actions every time. I started off, I did the whole heat action where I take his gun away from him. I do one heat action where I just kind of body slam him on the floor, and then here I pull out the Patriarch back and do the special move, which does insane damage just so I can avoid his second phase. And I don't fully avoid his second phase, but like his second phase is so annoying, and I decided to be cheap with him. Screw that second phase of this fight. We has a bunch of like goons like around him, which are like super aggressive and like target you very quickly, and like his whole moveset changes, and also if you don't react fast enough, and like when once you start the second phase, he'll just kick you and you'll take damage from it. So it's like, what? Come on. So I mean, if I dealt a little bit more damage with the bat, I could have just killed him with this, like, Hell's Floor thing, but, it didn't happen. That's kind of sad, but at least he has enough health that I can just kind of cheese him very quickly before, like, his goons can attack me. And thankfully with this fight, you just need to take out Tamashiro. You don't need to take out the goons he summons. Like, if you take out Tamashiro, the fight ends. So that's kind of the nice way I can kind of cheese this fight. And let me just continue talking about stuff. Alright, so here you might think I'm messing up my pronunciation here, but you saw that I got hit, and it's like, what? You got hit? You call this video no damage? What do you think you are? Well, I think I didn't take any damage. Look at my health bar. Not a smidget of damage, not an inch of damage, not a centimeter of damage was taken, even though I was hit. So you might say that's not a no-hitter, but it is no damage. And now here I'm going to bring back the calming towel so I can go a little bit more insane with the combos. And also I have the payback ring just so I can deal more damage with the combos. And just look at that health bar, it's just being absolutely depleted. And here target dropping him is even easier, and also to be fair, everything with this guy is even easier just because like this room is so tight and filled with corners. It's bounding heaven. I love it so much. I love like Andre's arenas in this fight for the most part. I don't know, I mean, there's some problems with his arena like in his final fight, but like it's mostly just that he has a gun, and sometimes some of his, it's more an issue with his gun moves, because some of his gun moves like can deal like area of effect damage kind of, and like that's very annoying to deal with, and I don't like that. But yeah, let me mention something unrelated. So after you defeat Joji Kazama, you get the ability to use like his CIA jet to move between areas, and they actually play a little cutscene when you move between Okinawa and Kamurocho of just the jet flying through like the air, and I think it's just really nice. It's weird. I wasn't expecting it, but it's there, and I think it's a cute little cutscene. So yeah, hee. So yeah, the Patriarch bat, there's gonna come a point for like when you get to Mine, or even when you get to like Andre 2, where you're gonna have to repeat these fights over and over, including the level before them, in order to get to Mine. And one way to speed up this fight immensely is to use the Patriarch bat against them. It just depletes their health bar insanely. So, do use that Patriarch bat, especially for this guy when he goes into his shotgun phase. Like, use that Patriarch bat, those health bars just go down insanely fast. However, one time I did it, he glitched out and never stopped shooting me with the shotgun. He just like infinited me to death. I'm actually gonna upload a video of that very same thing happening. Roblox 3 moments. It won't be as long as like Kiwami 2 Roblox like moments, but there are some moments to be documented, so I will be documenting said moments in a future video. But yeah, the strategy with Andre here, yeah, Andre is just something else. This fight's honestly one of the most fun in the game, but it's also one of the most challenging because like he's just hard to deal with sometimes. Like sometimes he's like in a corner and he does that one stupid move where like he just spreads his guns across him. Like that's the worst move he does with his hand. And sometimes like with the shotgun phase, he'll switch over to his handguns unexpectedly and he'll try to attack him, but he'll be blocking you. And sometimes he'll do that whole like that. Sometimes he'll do a move that just screws you over when you dodge, and it's like But honestly, like the reason I think he's so fun is that the main strategy is just to dodge behind. That's like the worst move he does, because sometimes you'll dodge behind him, but you'll be a little bit too close to his side, and they'll just clip you because of that. It's like But on this fight is still really fun because like the main way you deal with him is just to dodge behind him after he attacks. It's such a very like simple boss fight, But like the simple stuff is the most fun stuff. You know, like what I don't like about the Dragon Engine games is that like you can't just do this. You can't just dodge an enemy attack and like, you know, do a full combo behind them. You know, because they'll turn around too fast. But here, boom, I'm doing a full combo on him. And to be fair, when he turns into a shotgun phase, the strategy is just kind of dodge when he like gets up like at that exact moment. And to be fair, sometimes like if he did the wrong move while I was like dodging around him, I would have been screwed. But instead, he did like a kick behind him to hit nobody, and I got so lucky. Though to be fair, with like, I mean, I'm kind of a hypocrite when I say that I can do a full combo in Yakuza 3, because once I hit heat mode, well, now you can't. Well, I mean, with the handgun, you can't. But once it goes to the shotgun phase, I can do a variation of my full combo. I can just do this over and over, and sometimes dodge at the right moment since I have the calming towel, and then boom, it's like an infinite. I can just infinite when I see that. I used to be so scared of the shotgun in this fight, but if you know how to deal with it, it's like the easy mode of the fight. You know, it's like when I see the shotgun, I see now I can finally abuse Andre. Yes, because with the handguns, you actually have to like watch out for openings. But with the shotgun, you know, you just kind of dodge when he gets up, and most of the time that works. And then you just hit him, and it's like, nah, ow, nice. It's very, very nice. I like it a lot. So like that's what's so fun about this fight. And also the arena just makes it so easy to bound them, because you know you're not too far away from a wall which you can dodge cancel into. And it's like with the calming towel just makes this fight. The calming towel just and also the payback ring also makes it easier. So the one annoying thing is that I have to repeat his entire previous boss fight to get to this fight, and also the entire level before it. Like, I hate that. I don't like repeating levels. Like, and this level's long, and it's just like it got elevators, and then after this I have to repeat another level with like ninjas and the elevators. Like, well, that makes it more insane for Mine, and I was losing my mind when I was at this point. Like, I'm gonna explain. I have spent over 60 hours trying to no damage all the boss fights in Yakuza 3 on Legend within 100% save file. I am going insane. Like, within 100% save file, 60 hours! Like 60 hours within 100%. Like, I mean, if I didn't have an 100% save file and I had to, like, you know, actually do everything to get all that equipment I need for the video, get all the worms, get all the upgrades, like, are you kidding me? Also, for this point, the dynamic intro in Mine's boss fight is completely silent if you don't have any music, so I had to dub the entire thing over again, and it made me realize voice acting is actually very hard, especially if I only have this mic and I'm not in a studio. It's not gonna sound like it's in the environment, so it's like, I'm looking at this, I'm cringing at myself, man, just absolutely cringing, because I don't think these characters are in my voice range. Like, I had to like tackle some other characters which I can actually like sound more natural with the deliveries. It does feel like kind of forced, kind of like I'm putting on this pompous hair like, yes, I am Mine. No, I'm not. Like, I mean, either they're not in my voice range or I just don't know how to tackle them in a natural way. So that's just like that's the difficulty to voice acting right there. So another thing that's just driving me insane with this game is, I'll talk about strategies later, is that every time I start up Roblox 3 after not using my laptop for a while, my game just slows down for no reason. Like, my laptop can handle the game just fine, because like, you know, after a couple minutes of slowdown, you know, it's back to running normally. Like, you know, I record OBS and that's normal, because like it only slows down like every time. It's not OBS that's slowing it down, because the game slows down with or without OBS. So it's just like, and it's not Yakuza 3, because I haven't heard of these issues happening to people who play Yakuza 3. So it's like, what? Like, this happened to me with Yakuza 6 and 0 as well, plus Splinter Cell Blacklist. So like, is it an issue that I'm playing these games through a portable hard drive? Because, you know, it hasn't happened to me before. So it's like, what? Is it a boot camp issue because I'm playing these games on a MacBook like laptop that is running a free ISOs of Windows like 64 through boot camp? Is it an issue that I don't have much space on the portion I selected for Windows boot camp? Am I being hacked? I am so confused. I don't know what is going on. So instead, I'm gonna stop talking about it and instead talk about the boss fight. So the strategy for the boss fight is that Mine is very easy to abuse. So that's very hard to do, and I'll explain it later. So when Mine doesn't have any heat, you start off by kind of baiting out that one attack where he runs at you and does a knee, like a flying knee kick, dodge that, and then after that he'll start like kind of shuffling towards you the same way Rikiya kind of does. And when he shuffles like towards you and he's very close to you, he's gonna do an attack. Parry that attack, then you can do a full combo behind him. And watch out, sometimes if you do like a full combo, you know, like a square, 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 triangle, triangle, he'll sometimes get up from that combo. So, you know, be wary of that. But if you do square, 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 triangle, triangle, he's he's gonna get knocked out on the floor, and you can kind of, you know, go from there. And the thing is, every time he gets up, you can just do square, 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 triangle, triangle, and just continuously knock him down on the floor over and over, because for some reason the last hit will always knock him down like that. It's always gonna work, so you can kind of abuse him that way, and it's very fun to abuse him that way. But then you get to his orange phase, and I tackle it in a very boring way, but a very consistent way. I just spam him, and this is the best way to deal a ton of damage. Now there's another way you could do it, and it's a very fun way to do it. You can, like, if you don't have any heat, you can kind of like punch him while he's like close to you and then dodge away from him, and if you do that, you'll bait out the one attack where he like does like the punches side to side, and you can parry that, but it doesn't deal as much damage as spamming him while he's blocking all your attacks. So instead I do that, you know, because I want to deal a ton of damage so I can get like one of the fastest Mine fights ever. Like, honestly, this is a very fast Mine fight. I don't know of anyone who's done it faster than me. Well, but to be fair, it's like this strat, the thing, my battle here is not even the best way to do it. I'm sure you could do it faster, you could do it better, like, you know, especially with the purple phase. Like on the purple phase, like oh yeah, so the red phase, you can parry, sometimes in the red phase you'll shuffle towards you the same way he shuffles towards you in his normal phase. You can parry his attacks there, or you can parry the big attack and goes you can parry that attack, like, you know, not easily, but if, you know, if you have fast enough reactions, you can parry that attack. And then once you parry that attack, you kind of go behind him, square, square, triangle, grab combo, and then you do a heat action on the ground. You can do a ton of damage, and then after the red phase, you know, he'll go into his purple phase, and once he's in his purple phase, you can do a ton of stuff with him in his purple phase. Like, I didn't do a ton of stuff to him in his purple phase, but I was trying to bait out that healing animation, because when he's in the healing animation, I can do the drunk heat action, but, you know, but since he was just being kind of feisty, you kind of have to let him attack first before he'll like go into his whole big healing animation. So, you know, let him attack first, dodge that, or you can even parry that attack he does where he shuffles into you. But I really want him to do the healing animation, so I didn't want to parry the attack he does when he shuffles into you. But, you know, that's why it took a while to get to that point, but at least it helped the music sync better, so, you know, whatever. And then after that, you know, you can parry his healing animation too, but I didn't have enough time to do that, you know, to parry his healing animation. So, but it is possible, and I have done it multiple times. But instead I did the drunk heat action while he was healing, so that's cool. And then after that, he's back to normal. And then once he's like, you know, in his orange phase, I took away enough of his health bar that he was in his feel the heat moment. And then, you know, he goes to normal after that, and then he goes into his red phase, and then I parry that last hit with the red phase, and then that ends the fight there. But the thing is, you know, he goes normal, then he goes orange, then he goes normal for a little bit, and then he goes into red immediately. Then he goes normal, purple, normal, orange, and there's a certain rhythm to it. You have to get used to it, and then once you're used to it, you can kind of deal with the fight. But the most annoying thing about this fight is not the fight itself, because it's fun, especially with the way you can abuse him. It's that you have to repeat that entire final level, and both Andre fights before, and it's just driving me insane. Like, 60 hours, are you kidding me? Like, I don't want to do another Roblox video for a while. I want to play something where I'm having fun. I don't want legend difficulty. I hate legend difficulty now. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you all then for future videos.